Greetings once again, heroes and villains out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more My Hero Academia, where previously, as All For One has taken over Tomura Shigaraki's body, and Deku is on his last leg, honestly. Heroes show up, beaten, bloody, broken, but still ready to pick up the fight. They will be the wave that crashes against the mountain that is All For One, whittling him away. As it turns out, the part of All For One that tried to infiltrate Shigaraki had managed to survive the purging of his ego simply because his brother, got eliminated. Without any semblance of his brother, there was a emptiness that allowed him to just kind of slip through the cracks more or less, which is kind of hilarious. His objective being gone allowed him to live on, and we get a pretty great display of teamwork. Again, this is something that I always want to see, and that's everyone needing to come together to battle an overwhelming force, doing what they can to redirect his blasts away from everyone, confuse him, distort him, obscure his vision, anything. Even Shoto and Endeavor show up, doing their best to blast at him. Deku tells Aizawa that he gave up One For All in the attempt to defeat Tomura, but much like All Might back at Kamino, he still has the embers burning away inside him, and he'll use every last bit of that strength to fight. And though his arms may have come back, they are still gravely injured, but he races forward nonetheless. With a little help from Aoyama, he steps forward. What'll happen next? Join me as I find out, won't you? They pick up with Aoyama, essentially just flinging Deku forward out of harm's way as All For One's razor-sharp tendrils come bursting to the ground, throwing Aoyama. Deku looks back while still racing forward, saying, "Oh no, Aoyama!" But Aoyama just tells him, "Run, Midoriya." Aizawa turns to Shirakumo, calling out to him, but he sees his friend crumbling away. He probably used so much of his power that maybe his body couldn't take it anymore? I don't know. It's really hard to say given the nature of Kurogiri, Shirakumo, whatever, but he did his best right up until the end, if this is the end. But Deku races forward into the fray, and man, it's so wild. You just see all these tendrils coming from the black mass that is All For One, and everyone just trying their best to race forward. You see like Yoshindo and the turtleneck girl and stuff, Snipe and Manga Fukadoshi but blasting out at him. Or is it Manga Fukudashi? Vlad King says, "Nothing's hitting home, he's too tough." Alchemy says, "Unlike All For One, this one's toast not falling for my rage bait illusions." Yeah, that actually is a good point. Why isn't he falling for your illusions? Suddenly, Aizawa comes over to the comms, saying, "Carve a path, one straight to Shigaraki." All For One says, "My Omni Factor Unleash is not the result of giving in to base emotions. Rather, this augmentation is me exercising control and authority over my myriad powers as such. Do not presume you have me outnumbered." As he forms a giant cannon dragon head out of his mass, and it fires while the tendrils are still whipping out and spike projections go flying out. It is insane. The anime has its work cut out for it animating this, because my god. I really need to start watching the new season. Holy crap! Nice! And Higakure's ability to redirect light comes into play as she just leaps up and just redirects the beam. Hell yeah! Deku calls out to Higakure and she just says, "Laser stuff, I'm your gal." That's what's up. Meanwhile, Deku then turns and sees that Yaoyorozu has created an electromagnetic railgun powered by Denki. Okay, we're going crazy. I'm loving this. As Yaoyorozu calls out to Denki saying, "Ready?" He says, "Yeah." And they just fire it off straight towards All For One. Oh, Higakure didn't just redirect All For One's blast. She sent it right back towards him. So the two blasts All For One is able to just kind of block as he says, "Insolent little," and he lashes out again. Deku tries to go in for the strike, saying, "Leave them alone," but before he can finish, in comes Ojiro, Koda, Sato, Sero, Shishida, Ibari, and Sen. I had to look up some of those names. Vine Girl, the Beast Kid, and the dude who has the spiral abilities. Or Drill. Just destroying all of the little... all the crap that All For One is sending towards Deku. Ojiro says, "You're already on your last leg. Save your strength." Sato says, "Cause only your strength can sock it to him. So let us tank these hits." Sero says, "Go on," as he and Ojiro use their tape and tail respectively to just grab Deku, and they fling... Oh no! It's actually Sue and Shoji who grab on Deku, and they're just rushing along All For One's tendrils, bringing him forward. And then we see Sue's family as her little sister says, "Mommy, Daddy, look, it's Sis. You see her?" Dad calls out to Sue, while Sue's little brother and sister call out, "Do your best, Suyu." And I think that's supposed to be the little girl that Shoji saved. Seeing what's going on. Oh, does she have a little octopus necklace? Because she's too young to be anything else, I feel. I think that's the little girl from Shoji's backstory. She calls out to him saying, "You can do it, Shoji." Shoji tells Deku, "The rest of us aren't agile enough to weave past these brutal attacks." While Sue says, "But we can still carry you partway there." And they fling him forward. Deku saying, "Thank you, Shoji. You too, Sue." Another one of All For One's tendrils comes towards Deku, and what looks to be Fat Gum, Mina, and Kirishima step in and block it. And I think Fat Gum says, "Show some guts," as they block the attack. And Kirishima and Mina's friends from middle school see that and call out, "That's A? That must be for Kirishima." And they say, "And Mina." Kirishima says, I guess it's A for Ajiro. Yeah. Kirishima says, "You got this, dude." And Mina says, "Get it done." And Deku races forward again, saying, "I will." And All For One looks on, seeing Jiro and Present Mike still doing their best to fight back, and even Manetta's trying his best to stand back up and get back in the fight. And as All For One is observing this, he thinks, "Why? All I see are carcasses, soon to be carrion. But why do they refuse to lie down and die? There's little life to their wary movement, yet their eyes, if nothing else." And he thinks back to the words that the vestiges of Nana and Yuichiro said to him. Nana's words. He finds himself helplessly watching, and Yuichiro saying, "Conferring this power to someone so worthless." Oh no, he remembers the words he said to Nana and Yuichiro, and yet they seem to just still have a lot of faith in Deku. And it's almost like All For One comes to the realization, thinking, right, Midoriya, Izuku Midoriya, it's your weakness. And he continues to lash out at Deku, only for Gentle to create an air platform to get Deku out of the way. That's so cool. Gentle saying, "Do your utmost, boy." And Death Arm sees Deku, calling out, "You can do this," which is such a wild thing. I'm having flashbacks to the first chapter was it the first chapter with the sludge monster? Or was that the second chapter? The Death Arms was there, and he saw Deku rushing forward, and he called him a fool for just rushing in without the ability to really do anything. And yet here Death Arms is saying, "You can do this." That's so cyclical. Horikoshi really had to have been planning this for a while. And you see Tokoyami beaten and bruised, and I guess he's watching what's going on. But I mean, after everything he went through, I'm not surprised he wasn't able to be involved. He just calls out, "Do your best," as All For One thinks, it was something All Might lacked. A weak, feeble strength that spurs these vermin to stand back up so doggedly. And you see Ida coming in. It took me a real moment to realize that that's Ida. So much of his armor is gone. But he just rushes in, helping get Deku up so he can keep racing forward. And All For One extends his hand saying, that will not perish so long as you keep moving forward. But then it's like he realizes something. But that hole that he usually uses for like blasts and stuff, it's like it's starting to bleed. And I think that Stars and Stripes is, fighter jet guys, and they're helping All Might. With the lead dude saying, I thought our ejector seats were disabled, but here we are. I take it that was your doing, All Might? Yeah, I thought they had perished in the fight. It's hard to remember that. And All Might says, those kids are hoping for absolute victory, so I'd rather keep our losses to a minimum. But the one dude saying, comes from you, that's rich, because it looks like he's dying. All Might then holds up his hand thinking, Midoriya kid, that day when you dove into the fray, my body took action as well. Yes, ever since that day. And then you see Militia Shields calling out, do your best. And then Rhodey and his little brother and sister saying, you can do it, man. And Ida, as his engines fizzle out, he tells Deku as he pushes him forward. And Ida says as he falls, do you recall our first day as we left school? In this moment, I understand so clearly what she meant. And you see the helicopter that's transporting Uraraka to the hospital, and Pixie Bob's on it, saying, hang in there, almost at the hospital, Uraraka. You can do it. Everyone's doing their best down there. And the barely conscious Uraraka says, thinks to herself, but Deku, her words from back then, where she said, but Deku, it just screams, do your best. I kinda like it. Oh, I'm getting emotional. Uraraka weakly says, do your best. And Deku steps forward. We pick up in the US where the president says, send every hero we've got over to Japan pronto. And the person says, but Mr. President, if All For One wins today, you would be putting our nation's security in jeopardy. And the president says, like I give a damn, just do it. You see Shoto crying out as Deku thinks, I hear them all calling to me. Tsukuuchi says, you can do it. The kid who initially was against Deku calling out, do your best. Tiger saying, get it done. The Look and See kid saying, do it, man. Koda saying, you can do it. It's those dudes who were always in the news, talking about stuff, saying, do your best. Some kids saying, you got this. Gran Torino saying, I know you can. Eerie saying, do your best, okay? Other people saying, you can do it. More people saying, you got this. And the last person that All Might saved at Kamino saying, do your best. And All Might visualizes Deku as he clenches his fist, seeing the vestige of Deku racing forward. And All Might says, finishing his response previously saying, yes, ever since that day, you've been my greatest hero. And then you see Inko, Deku's mom, racing forward, saying, do your best, Izuku. And Izuku makes his way towards All For One, cutting through his darkness. My Hero Academia, number 422, Izuku Midoriya Rising. I legit feel so, I cannot stop tearing up. I hate how weepy I got at this, but goddamn. I can hear Yusei Run in my freaking soul in this chapter. Just so much. Oh man, the anime is gonna destroy me in this moment. The anime is going to destroy me. And I'm so ready for it. Just everyone clearing a path for Deku. Like, I'm just having all these flashbacks to the initial first chapter, especially because All Might mentions it. That moment where Deku just races forward, and it is that payoff. Like, I swear, Horikoshi was just like, this is the moment where all of that is paid off. That chapter 1 is paid off here. You will just... where everyone in that moment is questioning why Deku would dare to race forward. It is in this moment everyone is pushing him forward. Is just hopeful. Oh man. Holy crap. The tears would not stop. The tears would not stop. I was trying my damnedest not to cry. And there were a few moments where I got my emotions back in check, but it's just like every moment, there's like, every once in a while, there's just this moment that's just, like Shigaraki taking all those blows to his soul, just chipping away everything that could have helped me to just not stop tearing up in this. Has Kurogiri just faded? Is Shirokuma really just gone? I mean, technically he was already dead, but I don't know. It's hard to say with the nature of his body as it is. And I'm not sure how Kathleen's fighter jet dudes managed to survive. I need to go back. Maybe the anime will clarify how they survived, because I'm pretty sure how they went down. I'm not sure how All Might could have helped them survive, but maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. It sucks that certain characters aren't able to like be there at the final battle, like, you know, Tokoyami and Uraka. Like, they're sidelined pretty hard, but at the same time it kind of makes sense with everything they went through. And Deku just landed that solid hit on All For One, and it looks like All For One's body is breaking down, but that was already pretty obvious. Like, even All For One said, yeah, this body's kind of effed. Like, regardless of how Deku wanted to save Tomura, it's like, Tomura's not gonna be in a good state after all of this. Like, there's repercussions no matter what after all this. But we've already seen that the modifications Garaki has a tendency to make, we're always kind of gonna eventually catch up. But I love that. Like, Ida saying, Deku, do you remember Uraka's words way back when she said that your name sounds like do your best? And it's like, that's that moment. Everyone's saying do your best. I love it when things come full circle like that. Like, regardless of so many other things, thank you for just remembering all of that, just taking me back, hitting me in those member berries just hard as F. Just, again, I'll say it again and again and again and again. You're bringing it home, man. That's all you gotta do. Just bring it home. Regardless of how so many other people feel about how this is wrapping up, I'm still fully on board with so much of this. This is playing out just the way it needs to, and I couldn't be happier. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Whose cameo was your favorite appearance here? I know it was Rody Soul. You don't have to lie to yourself. But if it wasn't, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, bye-bye.